Previously on Alan Wake. I came to Bright Falls with my wife, Alice.
Thank you for coming here with me. I thought maybe you could write here.
I don't want to hear it! God damn it, Alice!
Now, she's missing.
Alice? Alice?
I woke up behind the wheel of a crashed car. I'm missing a week. I was attacked by shadowy men straight from a nightmare. The sheriff took me to the lake Alice and I had stayed at, but the cabin had disappeared.
Honey, I'm home.
Back here, sweetie. How was it?
Worst weather I've ever seen.
You should put some coffee on. It'll warm you up.
Hey, handsome. This is gonna be a long night, but these shots are turning out great.
I guess you're gonna need that coffee then. I'll go put it on.
But you have some coffee right here. So yes, this is a flashback, and the wife is an artist, as you could probably tell. Oh, I remember playing with those things back in like high school and middle school. Yeah, that was cool. So I never knew this before, but maybe an artist. It would make sense that the wife of the book writer would just happen to, if she's an artist, would make the art for the book of the writer. And I gotta say, Alan, he looks like he has more gray hairs than he does earlier. 3 years later down the line. Maybe he uses Rogaine or something. Or whatever. And I don't like him without facial hair. He looks too much like a baby face. It's weird. So let's go get that coffee, even though she has some right there. Oh, that's neat. He has some next to her. I see Alan. Oh, this is he's got a hoodie. It's different. Why can't I enter the room? It's my own house. Apartment. Well, apartment. So that's the apartment. Not too bad. Nice, nice. Oh. Ooh, big TV. Alright, enough dilly-dallying.
Coffee's on.
Great, thanks. I'll need it if I'm gonna finish this by tomorrow.
Yeah, that's New York weather for you. I believe they live in New York City. And, I don't live in New York City, I live in New York. But I live close to, the Finger Lakes. And I gotta tell you, it gets pretty bad in the wintertime. It gets bad in the wintertime, that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah.
Oh, hey, I just finished those cover mock-ups. They're on your desk. Tell me what you think.
No kidding. I didn't think you'd get them done this quickly.
On occasion, I can perform all sorts of miracles, my dear.
Oh, really?
Well, you seemed to think so last night.
Whoa! Alan, you sled dog, you look really old. Look, those eyes are just, those eyebrows, it's all like, looks like you put aged makeup on. Wait, what's that room to the side of hers? This room, there's a room right there in the middle. Maybe it's a red room for picture taking, since she has pictures there. Maybe. But why are some of them blank? So many questions. And, oh, check that out. There's none of those barcode things. If anyone knows what that one tells or gives or whatever, let me know, please. Because I am super curious. And I'm super lazy, and I'm not going to look it up, so... Let's examine the things over here. Oh, guns. Ooh. Oh, they're not Golden Lugers like in Code Veronica, Resident Evil Code Veronica. Those are cool guns. Oh, I wish I could, like, reach in the world of the video game, pull these books out, and read them.
These look really good.
Oh, sure, until Barry gets his hands on them. Which, by the way, will happen over my dead body. The last time was the last time. Oh, and speaking of Barry, he called. Alan! Alan!
Wait, I got manuscript pages? I didn't write these until 3 years later in the events of the... whatever.
True what they say about the fall and the sudden stop at the end. I'd lain here in the snow while the lurid chain of scenes that had led me here kept playing in my head. A rerun of my own private snuff movie. A memory of my corpse. Alone at my own wake. Thinking in metaphors again. The femme fatale was gone. Only a sour taste remained of the kiss that killed me. This was a late goodbye. 13 years after I'd gotten my revenge, it had finally caught up with me. It had been a long time to bear the pain. My blood painted the snow red. A gruesome slushy dissolved all the scattered painkillers and leisurely dripped down to the sewer, mingling with the bile of the city, becoming one with it. I can see them now, my wife and my baby. Honey, I'm home.
So basically, I think Alan Wake, his book series is pretty much Max Payne. It's about like a detective dude that like lost his family and stuff, which is it's basically Max Payne.
Check the fuse box.
I'm right here. I'm on it, honey.
Please hurry.
Honey, it's a power outage. I've got the flashlight.
Okay.
Shut in your face.
You okay?
I'm sorry. It just really spooked me.
You're really shiny, by the way.
We'll just break out the candles.
I know it's stupid, but it's just... Especially when I'm not prepared for it, you know? It gets to me.
I love you.
Tell me a story, writer.
Okay. I used to have these nightmares when I was a kid. The dark really spooked me, too. When it got really bad, my mom gave me this old light switch. She called it the clicker.
The clicker, huh?
Yeah. If I ever got scared of the dark, I could just flip the switch and a magic light would scare the monsters away.
Oh, sure.
Here it is.
Alan.
Maybe it'll help you, too.
Yeah, nice story, writer boy. You made that up right now, didn't you?
No. Seriously.
I love you, even if you are a liar. Thanks for this.
How do you feel, Mr. Wake? Any nausea, disorientation, anything like that? Mr. Wake, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. My head's fine. I had to lie about my headache and memory loss. He'd send me to a hospital for tests. I couldn't leave without Alice.
Very well. I don't think you have a concussion, but you've obviously been through quite a shock. You should take it easy for a couple of days.
Thanks.
Well then, Mr. Wake, we're done here. If the pain gets any worse or you experience any other symptoms, you should come see me. I'll let you get on with it then. Sarah, Sheriff Breaker, is waiting for you. She's very good at her job. I'm sure she can locate your wife in no time.
Doc Nelson was the image of a small-town doctor. Sheriff Breaker had called him to the station to take a look at the cut in my head.
What you got in there, Doc? You got some peels? Sorry to interrupt you on your fishing trip, by the way. But considering where we are, I don't think it's too much of a problem. You know, you could probably just walk down the street and start fishing. By the way, is that a mic? What is that? That's a computer from like what, the 1980s? And that looks, I want to say this is a microwave, but that's probably also a computer. Considering that TV looks more advanced than that's. Oh whoa, this TV actually looks like an old TV I used to have. That's interesting.
Thank you for testing the lights, Miss Weaver. Everything seems to be fine.
I don't have the luxury of being complacent, Deputy Grant. The bulbs will need changing soon. You can't change them in the dark.
I'll be sure to take care of it, Miss Weaver. Have a nice day now.
Very good. I'll come back later on to remind you, just in case.
Can't change the lights in the dark. First,
The sheriff is waiting for you in her office down the corridor.
That doesn't even look like it's on. It doesn't even look like it's off either. You can't change the lights in the dark. Well, you kind of have to, because you can't power the lights if you're taking them out, Miss Lady of Psycho Craziness. But I forgive her, considering. Ooh. You always want to get the collectibles before you activate anything, because you might not be able to take them. Also, that's a slim-looking fridge.
Alice looked through the viewfinder, lining up the shot. Cauldron Lake was breathtaking. Something caught her eye. A figure standing in the shadows behind the cabin, like a thin woman in a black dress. She lowered the camera and looked again. No one there. Just a collection of bushes that looked vaguely human-shaped. She shook her head and laughed.
She thought she saw someone there. Little did she know that she probably did. I'm going to take a look at the pages. There's a few pages. This is going to be... this episode's going to be fairly long, now that I think about it.
Yeah, it's Mulligan here. I'm at Stucky's gas station with Thornton. There's no sign of him. Over.
Wait. Yeah, this is Thornton. Look, we've located the parade float. It's here. That's some good news, right? Stucky was supposed to be driving it at the rehearsals today. Over.
Oh, give me that. Mulligan here. Looks like someone really thrashed the garage. Over.
Okay, roger that, guys. Keep looking for Stucky. James out.
James out. I wonder what's in there.
The sheriff wants to see you in her office, Mr. Wake.
Okay, ma'am. Now, where's the office? Knack for winning contests, huh? Look at all these developers. And the developer's cat. I don't know if that's actually legit, the developers, but it just seems like it would be. You know, put their faces in there because, you know, why not? Ooh. Please call 555 blah 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 blah.
Come in, Mr. Wake. Your phone's on the desk. The battery was dead. It's charged now.
Have you started looking for my wife yet?
My men are already on it. Now, can you tell me what happened?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. We were arguing. I walked out of the cabin.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake? How did you end up at Stucky's gas station?
I wanted to tell her what had happened last night, but I couldn't. She'd lock me up. Excuse me. I need to take this. Hello?
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
Stop talking to the law. You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
Who is this?
Go to the back lot. There's a hole in the fence on the left. Look inside the junker. I left a little something there to convince you we're all on the same page here. After you ditch the cops, you're gonna meet me in Elderwood National Park. There's a spot called Lover's Peak.
Mr. Wake, can I help you with anything?
Don't do nothing stupid, pal. We're watching you.
I need to get some air. The sheriff said I could go out back.
Of course, Mr. Wake. You can get there through the cell corridor.
The light's on! The deputies, they don't understand. Thank you, man, thank you. Hey, you're alright. You're a good guy. Don't let anybody tell you different. You know, I shouldn't even be in here. The cops, they got it all wrong. See, sure, I beat him up, but I wasn't drunk. I mean, I wasn't drunk at the time. I only got drunk afterward. Okay, listen. You gotta listen carefully now. Here's the kicker. That wasn't Danny. No, sir. It only looked like him. You wanna know who it really was? I'll tell you who it really was. It was a goddamn space alien! I know it sounds like something a drunk would say, but believe me, I wasn't drunk then.
It was Danny, but it wasn't. Maybe this guy took out one of the, or fought at least, one of the Taken. Maybe. I like to think that's what happened. You know, because he's so, wanting the light to be on and not liking the darkness. There's not even a bed in the cell. Or is there, and it's just too dark? Yeah, there is, never mind. Yeah, if you know anything about this game, and by this point you should, then light is good and darkness is bad. Anyways, continue onwards.
The early morning light hurt my eyes and made my head ache. The man on the phone had said, go through the fence on the left.
Yeah, there's a radio. I'm not going to get all the radio conversations. It's too much, man. Plus, I want to get this done by tonight. Ooh, nice. These, however, I will show off.
The kidnapper fired his gun one last time, and the shadow vanished into the darkness it had come from. See? Nothing to it, Wake. The thought of Alice in his hands was revolting. We stood on the wooden platform of Lover's Peak, the waterfall in the mountain behind us, the lights of the radio mast blinking red in the heights above. I fought with the urge to take a swing, force myself to speak. Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife? Alice's driver's license had been placed on the front seat. The caller meant business. Barry?
Ow! Ow! Thank God! Where the hell have you been? I've been trying to reach you for a week, you and Alice. I've been worried sick. I flew out yesterday. I'm here in Bright Falls.
Barry, listen to me. I'm at the sheriff's station. Come and get me. I can't talk now.
Al, what the hell is going on?
I had to get the sheriff to let me go. I needed to get to Elderwood National Park to meet Alice's kidnappers.
You know, you'd think they get rid of that junker there, since that's pretty, it's pretty bad. Wait, is there? Nah, not yet. Oh, look at here, manuscript. I don't know if this was there earlier. What? Whoa, that was weird.
In spite of its human mask, to describe the Dark Presence as intelligent would have implied human qualities on something decidedly inhuman. Nonetheless, it found the one spot in the diner that was dark enough. Some light spilled into the corridor, ravaging it. But it took the pain. Horrible as it was, the writer would soon fix that. He would be coming to the one place where it still had power.
I wonder if that's a reference to what happened earlier. Actually, yes it was. That lady we got the key from was actually a really super evil dark god thing? The form of evil power from the lake. Not to spoil anything, but what we encountered was not a nice old nanny.
A writer is a light that reveals the world of his story from darkness, shapes it from nothingness. The way a sculptor carves a statue from a block of granite. If I stop, the world I'm making dies. Darkness will reclaim it. It's a long, hard journey into the dark. Alice's life is at stake, but I can't think about that, or I'll lose it. The dread lingers at the edge of perception. I'll push on. Anything is possible here. I'll write the story. I'll save her.
Marvelous, Sarah. I just wanted to settle all the damage the Anderson brothers might have inadvertently caused.
Are you feeling any better, Mr. Wake?
I'd like to leave. Am I free to go?
Well, we still need to talk about...
Am I under arrest?
No, of course not. But I need to know where you'll be staying so I can get in touch with you.
I'd avoid the motel. The Majestic is known for its roaches. The cabins at Elderwood are pretty nice, though.
That sounds perfect.
I'm Dr. Emil Hartman. I'd like to invite you to stay at Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Did you talk to my wife?
I had the pleasure of discussing your situation with her on several occasions.
Did you set something up with her?
I invited her here. My clinic is a place where...
Oh, hey! Oh, my!
Take it easy.
Hey, nobody move! Get your hands off of my client!
Who are you?
I'm Barry Wheeler, his agent. If you have business with Mr. Wake, you talk to me. You yokels won't know what hit you once I sick my lawyers on your asses.
No harm done, Sarah. I'm all right. I don't want to press charges. Mr. Wake, my offer still stands.
Get me out of here.
What the hell was that about, Al? We don't need a replay of that thing with the paparazzi. I thought they were gonna lock you up.
I had to talk to someone. I told Barry everything. He thought I was certifiable, but when he heard about the manuscript, I had him. The fact that I'd written something, even if I couldn't remember it, was enough for him. He smelled money. And he believed that Alice had been kidnapped. Anything beyond that was another story. I had a midnight appointment with the kidnapper in a place called Lover's Peak, somewhere in Elderwood National Park. The plan was to rent a cabin.
I don't like it, Al. I don't like any of it. It's not good. In fact, it's the absolute opposite of good.
Mr. Wake! Barry, you found him!
Hi, Rose.
Oh, wow. I was just thinking about you, too.
Great.
I was just bringing Rusty some coffee. He's on the balcony, looking after Max. Poor thing. I really need to go. Great to see you again, Mr. Wake. Later!
Look at that face.
Who's Max?